Today we're going to do something different. You can watch me memorize some numbers and I'll go through the process on how I do it and I'll show you some strategies as well. So let's get to it. Hi, it's Tansel, four-time Australian memory champion, international best-selling author, and your memory coach. So today I'm going to show you how I memorize numbers. I'm just going to go through one particular method because there's a lot of methods that I use. This method is a little bit more doable for you. There's still a bit of effort, but I'll show you how it works. So here we go. I've got some numbers there for you. You can get this from my website if you just go to tancelolly.com/downloads and you'll be able to get it. So here I've got 1,000 digits. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will show you how I memorize. So here we go. Now I am using a memory palace. So I'm going through certain locations to memorize these numbers. The first location that I have is my front fence. So I've got 68 for me is a chef and 55 is lily, so a flower. So I've got a chef cooking a flower, the lily flower that I can visualize on my front fence, right? And I can see this lily growing and growing. The chef's there, he's in his chef's costume and he's cooking this flower on my front fence. Next one, I've got 56, which is a leech. So leech, and 42 for me is Arnie, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right? I'm not necessarily using a person action system. I'm just at the moment, I'm just giving you just some random images. So I'll show you how that's done. So leech, my second location, by the way, is my driveway. So I've got a leech in the driveway stuck onto Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's screaming, "Ah!" Right? So there's a leech stuck on Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, I could say Arnold Schwarzenegger had a leech stuck in him, but the thing is, then you'd memorize 42 and then 56. So we want to make sure that's 56 and 42. So leech burst in the story, then Arnie. Okay, next one. 32 is money. So M and then N. And 55 lily again. So front door this time. Someone, puts money on the door. I grab it and then give them a lily. Okay, so there's my little story there. Now, again, I can make it really quick, but if I spend a bit more time memorizing, that money could be really big. Maybe it's a pile of money. Right, I'm not saying cash here. I'm saying money because 76 is something else for me that's got to do with that. But pile of money, and I give them a lily. No, so there you go. 77. Now I'm going to my bedroom. So I've got a window, bedroom window. I've got a cake. Right, so I throw a cake on the bedroom window, and then 46 is a rash. So because I threw the cake on the window broke. And, by doing that, I started developing a rash, right? So as you know, I'm making this up as I go along. Memory competitions are essentially storytelling competitions and creativity competitions, all of that. Again, you'll probably notice that I'm not super duper creative in these instances. That's because I'm trying to make a video and say it at the same time. But when we memorize in competition, we're generally just going through this really quickly. Like when you do it inside your head, you go fast, right? So I've got a cake, developed the rash, and the rash was really red on my arm. It looked disgusting. Okay. Next one, I've got 45, which is rail. So I actually imagine a train for rail. For years, that's embedded into my head. I don't know why, right? I could just say train and that's a different number, but I've got rail as a train. So let's do that. And I've got my bed. So there's a train on my bed and it's moving its wheels and it's making a mess on my bed, rail. And I've got 36, which is MJ, so Michael Jackson. Right, so he's trying to run away from this train, but he's trying to moonwalk away from the train. Train eventually gets him. So there you go. That's on my bed. 85 is for me is fall. So my next location is my shower. So fall in the shower, bang, hurt myself. That would hurt a lot if I fell in the shower. Got a quite small shower, so if I fell in there, dangerous. And then 73 for me is a comb. So once I fell, maybe I broke some tiles, and in order to fix the tiles, I had to grab a comb and fix it, and then eventually comb my hair because I was so cool, right, doing that. That's my shower story. I fell, combed my hair, fixed the tiles up with the comb. Yep. Next one, I've got a sink, right? So I'm in my ensuite, I've got a sink, and 43 is my arm, so R and M, right? You could also have, heaps of words like ram and rum and, ramstone. You can keep going. But I've got arm, so I'm washing my arm in the sink. Like, that's an easy one, right? I'm putting my whole arm maybe down the sink. And then 37 for me is McDonald's, right? Or here in Australia, we say Macca's. So as I'm washing my whole arm, the other arm, someone puts, Macca's in there, or a McDonald's bag. And now I've got, Macca's bag on my other hand. Just when I'm washing the other one, gets dirty. It's all pickles and burgers and whatever there is in Macca's bags these days. I haven't had it in such a long time. There you go. So next location for me is toilet. So I've got 3 and 3 is mummy. So I've got like an ancient mummy, Egyptian mummy, right? Maybe he's made up from toilet paper and comes out of the toilet, right? Mummified out of the toilet. There you go. We're really using our imagination now. And then 80 is, for me, it's a vase. So VNS. So because the mummy's coming out, about to attack me with all this toilet paper around him, I smack him on the head with the vase. Goes right back down the toilet. So there you go. I like that story. Next one. So I'm going to my cupboard, right, full of clothes. I've got 29. For me is a nappy. So, I'm looking at all my shirts that are ironed now. I've got t-shirts, I've got a jacket, and someone has put a nappy, a dirty nappy, right where my good shirts are. And there's a lot of poo on there. It stinks. It's disgusting. So there's a nappy on there. 74 is a car. So what I had to do was get one of these little cars that clean up poo, right? So I'm rolling the car on this poo and it magically goes away, right? And it smells beautiful now. So it's all clean. Obviously I have to put it in the wash, but that car, little car, again, I didn't have to think of a stock standard car. The little car cleaned up all this poo from the nappy. Right? Now, the goal here is not to remember poo. The goal is to remember nappy. So I'm just really visualizing the car, pressing against the nappy and cleaning it. And finally, I've got a door, right? I've got a lot of doors in my locations. 91 is a bat. So I whack the door with a bat, and I generally visualize a baseball bat. So I whack the door with a baseball bat. And then as I've done that, the door falls down and I sit on the door. So S and T, it's usually a seat, but I've also got an action for it, which is sitting, right? Sitting. So smack the door with a bat, and then once the door's fallen down, I sit on it like a cool dude, right? There you go. So that's my story. Let's go back and revise, right? So my front fence, I've got a chef cooking a lily. In my driveway, I've got a leech on the back of Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Now I could make that a bit better. What's Arnold Schwarzenegger doing in my driveway, right? Maybe he's filming a movie and there's a leech stuck behind him. That's probably a bit better context, because if I went back to recall, I probably would remember that. It's not a strong enough story, right? Next one, I've got the front door. So I've got money, right? Person's giving me a whole wad of cash, a whole wad of money, sorry. And I'm giving back a lily, right? The next one, I've got my window in the bedroom. In the bedroom, I've got a window and I've got someone threw a cake. Maybe it was me. I threw a cake on the window and it suddenly gave me a rash, right? After I did that, and a really big, ugly red rash. Then on my bed, I had a rail, so train, and then Michael Jackson was trying to get away from it, right? And eventually he didn't. And then we've got on my shower, under my shower rather, I fell. As I was having a shower, I fell, but I needed a comb to pick me up and fix the tiles that were broken, and then, comb my hair really cool. Then I've got my arm under the sink, washing my arm, but the other arm is, in a Macca's bag, McDonald's. Now, the trick here is not to picture arm and arm, right? So 43, I have to really picture McDonald's instead of the other arm. So washing my arm in the sink and then McDonald's bag here. If I don't say arm, even better, because subconsciously it still gets in there. So next one, Out of the toilet comes out a mummy, right, full of toilet paper, and I whack it on the head with a vase. Bang. Then I've got a nappy in my cupboard where all my shirts are, right? It's disgusting, full of poo, but I've got a little cart to clean it up. Great. And then finally, I've got a bat, and I whack the bat on to the door, and then I sit down on the door. So there's 40 digits right there. Let's see how we go recalling. Okay, so how am I going to do this? All right, I'll just go up this way randomly, and let's see if we can do this. Okay, now I'm speaking straight to the camera. I'm not looking down here, right? Here we go. So my first location, I've got a front fence, right? The chef is cooking a lily, so 6855. And then I go into my driveway. There's a leech on Arnold Schwarzenegger, so 56 and 42. Then I go to my next location, which is the front door. And my front door, someone's giving me a whole heap of money, 32. And I'll give them a lily back, 55, right, 55. Then I go into my bedroom and I've got the window, right? And I threw a cape on the window, that's 77. But it gave me a big rash, right, 76. 46. That's the rash. So 77, 46. Now on my bed, and on the bed, there's a train going around. It's a rail, right? 45. And who was trying to run away from the rail? But who was trying to run away from the rail train and then get smashed? It was MJ. So Michael Jackson, 36. So the 45, 36. Then I've got the shower, and I fell in the shower, so 85. And then I used the comb, 73, to fix up the tiles and comb my hair. Now I'm going to the sink where I'm washing my arm, and that's 43. The other arm had a McDonald's bag. So I'm remembering the McDonald's, not the arm, right? So that's 37. Then I go to my toilet, right? And there's a mummy coming out of the toilet. So that's number 33. It was about to attack me with all the toilet paper, but I whacked it on the head with a vase, which was 80, right? So it went back down, which was good. So no more mummy toilet. Next one is my cupboard, and I have a nappy 29 full of poo, disgusting, where my nice shirts are, right? But I have a little cart to clean it up, which is 74. And then my final location is I've got a bat, and I whack the bat onto the door, falls down, and I sit on it. So that's 9101. So there's 40 digits, easily memorized. Now, obviously, I've taken so much time to do it. But if you were to memorize it, if you're say memorizing pi or something like that, you can use this scenario to go through it. So if you want to know how to do it, if you want to know how to memorize numbers, I've got more videos on that, obviously, and I'll put the links down below. But you know, the major system is how I come up with these images. So watch that video on the major system. Memory Palace is how I remember the order of these numbers. Again, watch the Memory Palace videos. I'll put a link down below anyway. What stories have you got? I'm really interested. If you've watched the video up to this far, right, you've come to an awesome position now. I want you to comment your story down below for all those 40 digits. And if you can do that, right, I want to see who comes up with the best one. I might even give you a prize. Who knows, right? I've got some books lying around, and I'll post out one of my books to you. How does that sound, right? Little giveaway. I don't usually do this, but if you've got an awesome story for those 40 digits, write it down. I will be the judge. I'll go through and look for creativity. I'll look for the strength of connection. So don't just say, oh yeah, the rail was, on the bed. That's not good enough. Maybe it's spinning around, or you just describe it to me, right? Try and do better than what I did, because I'm sure you can, right? Just because I'm a memory champion doesn't mean I come up with the best stories all the time, right? So do that, play around, write it in the comments. We'll have a bit of a laugh, and whoever has the best story will get a prize from me. So there you go. Any other questions, comment down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.